All right, Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom to Akim out there preaching his word in truth and sincerity. And the believers of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, including, the women and men that, watch the videos. In this lesson, I wanted to, kind of touch on some of the basics dealing with Jacob and Esau, because we're having a lot of new people as well coming across this information, so it's always good to go back and touch on the basics as things that are looked at as the basics, so to speak, but they're the main topics or the main issues that are relevant to this day, and I wanted to go into Jacob and Esau because this is the main story and the main people in the story to this day, Esau being, so-called white man, and as well as the small hats, the tribe of Amalek, and Jacob being you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because Jacob had 12 sons. All right. So these are the main, characters in the movie to this day that are relevant, because as you see, Esau always target our people. Our people are at the bottom. Esau's the one in control of things. And like I said, he always is aiming to come at our people with things. Like when it comes to taking the Jews, he always saying our people are the main ones who need it. And so on and so forth, But these are the main people, and there's a reason behind it, as well as a reason behind Esau having a hatred for our people. All right, because they always wonder, like, here it is, we're in 2022, going into 23. Why Esau has so much hatred for our people at this point for no reason, right? Because we're in 2022. So why does he have these feelings that he have? You're already on top, you're already in control, so to speak. You run the world at this point. So why does he have so much hatred for our people still? And the reason he does have that hatred is because ultimately, that we have the birthright. We're the chosen people of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, all right, the Heavenly Father and His Son, all right? We're that chosen line. That's why he wants to portray himself to be the chosen people, because he knows that he's not. And he's trying to get back the birthright that he lost all those years back, going back to Jacob and Esau, all right? Because that's when he had initially lost his birthright through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai in the first place, but he's the one who gave it up because he has that same spirit that he has now, that instant gratification. He thought that it wasn't of any importance. It didn't matter to him the way that he gave it up, all right? But I'm gonna start here in Genesis 25 and 25, and then touch the different points of the stories dealing with Jacob and Esau, given the background of how it played out with us getting the birthright and him losing it, and how he gained, his birthright was to gain control of the earth temporarily. All right. So starting off in Genesis 25, and I'm going to start at Genesis 25 and 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, "If it be so, why am I thus?" And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So it said 2 separate nations were in her womb. All right. And we are 2 separate nations, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And then you have our people, like I said, Jacob, because Jacob he was the progenitor of the 12 tribes, which is you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So in a way, you can say that we're brothers. We're closely related to Esau, but we're still 2 separate nations, all right? And it said one shall be stronger than the other people. And that's what you see. All right. You look at all these sports, our people are always we're just naturally better. Why? Because we have that natural gift from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right. We are the chosen line. That's just what it is. It wasn't up to us. That's just how Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai wanted it to be. All right. And it says that the elder shall serve the younger. Who was the first to come out? You know, Esau was the first one to come out, and Jacob came out afterwards. All right. So Esau is the elder brother, and Jacob is the younger brother. So, and that hasn't played out yet. The elder shall serve the younger. This is going to happen in the future when Esau is going into captivity, man. He's going to be forced to serve us. All right. Right now, he isn't serving our people. All right. He's just ruling over us and oppressing us, man. All right. But continuing on in the story, and it says, verse 24, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. All right. So they were twins, but they were still two separate nations, even though they were twins in her womb. Because it already stated that in verse 23, two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And it's how it said two nations are in her womb. So two separate nations, even though they were twins, they were separate. All right. And it says, and when the days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau because his skin is wasted away. He came out red like a hairy garment. And that's what you see when you look at Esau today, man. All right, that lack of melanin, that lack of pigmentation. Their skin is translucent, so to speak. All right, that's why they call them, the rednecks in the country and stuff like that. All right, because that's not normal, ultimately. And that's why it was stated that how he came out red. And then when you go into Jacob, all right, in verse 26, it says, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And his hand being on his heel is representing us, and taking him out of rulership in the future. That's symbolic, all right, of us taking him down, his kingdom down, because that's how it's going to play out. All right, the chosen elect, the Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, who get that spiritual power, man, going to be taking down Esau and his kingdom. And you notice that as well, that it didn't go into the pigment, the color of Jacob. Why? Because everyone was naturally dark skinned in those times. All right, they had melanin. So Esau coming out different. That's why they had to go into him having, coming out red and hairy like a garment, because he didn't come out natural like everyone else. All right. And it says, and Isaac was 80 years when she bare them. So that's like what, I think around, if I'm not mistaken, around 60, because the score is 20, I believe. So he's around 60, if I'm not mistaken. But continuing on, I wanted to just, get to the point. Okay, it was further down. I skipped over it. Yeah, so this is still in 25, and I'm gonna just kind of jump down to the point. Like I said, I'm gonna start at 25 and 29. And Jacob sought pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And that red pottage, it wasn't even cooked all the way. You know, that's how Esau likes his meat. You know, medium rare, and that's how they still eat their food to this day. You know, that's another telltale sign of an Edomite, man. One of the few ways of telling, or one of the many ways, I should say, of telling an Edomite, because they all like their meat medium rare, extra bloody, pretty much. So Esau came to Jacob, saying that he was faint, you know, and begging him to for the food that he was making. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me? Yeah, because he didn't see the profit in it, because the birthright was something to come in the future tense, not right now, this very moment type of thing. It was a promise that you was going to receive later on down the line. So to him, it didn't seem relevant or important, that instant gratification mindset, which he still has to this day. All right. And he pushed that spirit on our people. And that's why they have the same mentality this day as well. But, you know, keeping with the story, he said it didn't, what shall it profit him? So he was willing to give it up. And Jacob, he supplanted him out of it. But it really wasn't like he tricked him, so to speak, because it was a fair trade. He just said, give me your birthright if you want this food. Or swear to me, you know, your birthright. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Yeah, he didn't even like it, because it, like he had said, you know, what shall it profit me, you know? And that's the mentality that he had, because you wasn't going to receive it anytime soon. All right. The birthright was a promise of something that you was going to receive later down the line, you know? So, jumping forward, so Esau, he sold his birthright, all right, and Jacob supplanted him for it. Ultimately, a fair trade gave him the food. He says, swear to me this day the birthright. And Esau, he despised it, you know, his birthright. He didn't care for it. And he had gave it away. A fair trade, right? And then continuing on with the story, jumping to Genesis 27, and starting from the top. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son and said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here am I. And he said, behold, now I am old, I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison, and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat it, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. So she was in the spirit, you know. Yahweh Shem Yahushai put the spirit on her to tell Jacob to do that. Yet the whole time, you know, Esau already sold his birthright, but he was still going to go behind Jacob's back and go, you know, get the venison and everything else, bring it back to Isaac and get the birthright, which he already swore to Jacob, showing you the spirit of Esau, man. But it didn't play out the way that he wanted it to. All right, because Yahweh Shem Yahushai put the spirit on Rebecca to get Jacob to get the blessing, and it's going to go into it. It's verse 11. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, "Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man." And that's exactly how Esau is. You know, majority of Esau, like you seen the old commercials, so easy a caveman can do it, or just the caveman, you know, relics in museums that have them wherever they have them. That was Esau. That wasn't everybody on the earth. They try to make it seem like we were all, you know, living like that. That was just, you know, Esau living like that. All right. He's a hairy man. He's a man of the field, you know, out there hunting and everything. That's the spirit of Esau. All right. But continuing on, my father, verse 12, my father peradventure will fill me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son, only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob, her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. So she had put the extra, you know, hair of the those goats upon him, so he could seem like he was hairy. So because you know Isaac was, you know, had bad vision pretty much before he passed, and he was going to fill him just to make sure that it was his son, like Jacob had said. So she gave him that hair, that woolly hair from the goats, so that it would feel like he was hairy. And he came, so continuing on in 18, and he came unto his father and said, My father. And he said, Here am I, who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord thy power brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he could discern him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's hands, so he blessed him. And he said, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat, and he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore the Most High give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And this is the same blessing which Esau already swore to Jacob in the first place, all right? And this is what he despised, this blessing, because it wasn't something that he was going to receive now in this, right then and there, so to speak. So he didn't see the true value in it, all right? So he had swore it away, but he was still going to go behind Jacob's back to get it. Yet Yahweh Shem Yahushai had Rebekah tell Jacob to supplant his father to receive that blessing in the spirit. That's just how the Lord set it up, all right? But continuing on, and it came, verse 30, and it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from hunting, and he also had made savory meat and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn, Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, Who? Where is he that have taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and have taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. With corn and wine have I sustained him, and what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And this is what Esau has right now. He has his blessing now, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven. All right. Just like going into Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Hey, so he was promised to receive it for a short period of time, and then that time gonna be up, and your time is coming up to the point where you losing it, because ultimately that birthright belongs to us, and he's still upset about that to this day, man. All right. But continuing on in verse 41. Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. And this is the same spirit that he has to this day, man. All right. He's still in his spirit, he doesn't even know why necessarily, but he has that hatred, natural hatred for us, because ultimately in his spirit, we get in the birthright, and he knows that. That's why these small hats, they have such a problem with being told that they're not the chosen, because they know that the birthright goes to the chosen line. All right, because it wasn't given to everyone. It was only given to Jacob and his sons. All right, and Esau is going to serve the younger, his brother, in the latter times. And he doesn't want to be Esau, because he knows that what role he has to play if he is Esau, man. All right. You're going to suffer for everything that you did wrongfully, as well as be in captivity, man. And then be exterminated ultimately. Because if you read the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, look up the definition of Esau, it tells you how he's destined for great future judgment. All right, that's the only nation that the Lord is going to do away with, man. This is why Esau doesn't want to be, you know, linked up with that name or being that person. That's why he tries so hard to separate himself from who he really is, because he knows what's going to happen to him in the future, man. And this is why they have that so much hatred for our people, ultimately because we're the chosen. We have the birthright. We're going to receive that blessing at the end. You know, at the end all be all, we're the ones that's going to receive that blessing still, man, no matter what he's trying to do. And this is why he has that hatred, that great hatred, even to this very day, man. And it tells you about that in Ezekiel. It's Ezekiel 35, verse 5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. And if you look at that, that word for perpetual, I believe it's Ilawam, or yeah, if I'm not mistaken. And it says long duration, antiquity, futurity, forever, and ever, everlasting, evermore, perpetual, old, ancient, because like I just read, this is an ancient hatred that he had going all the way back to Jacob and Esau. All right. Long time of the past, ancient time. So this hatred, this perpetual hatred that he has, it stems back all the way to Jacob and Esau, man. The birthright, ultimately, because still to this day, all right, those small hats that you don't see on the scenes like that, that's not out there but control everything, they know ultimately that they still don't have the birthright. That's why they're trying to do everything in their power to still get it, but they're not going to succeed, man. All right, that they're going to fail horribly. Yet this is why they have that hatred for our people. They don't want you to know who you are, and they don't want you to claim who you are, because if you were you can't. It can't be two chosen people. It can only be one, you know. And I just showed you who the chosen people are, man. Because Jacob was the chosen one, and who came out of the line of Jacob? All right, the 12 tribes of Israel, man. All right. But continuing on, it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Yeah, because we went off, all right, and we went through our punishment, you know. We was in slavery and everything else. And then it was supposed to come to, our punishment was supposed to come to an end. But Esau still has us in captivity to this very day. So he never let up. In verse 6, it says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even the blood shall pursue thee. And this is what's ultimately happening now, man. All right, Esau never hated blood. You was totally fine with putting our people to death. Still to this day, you want to still do that. You in that same spirit want to kill all our people off, destroy them, erase them from the earth, pretty much. Hey, the Lord said, since you didn't hate blood, blood's going to pursue you. Now the tables are going to be turned, man. All right? You're going to be the one that's out there having your blood shed, all right? Catching nothing but hell, being in captivity, really suffering, man. And then it's not going to be anything that you can do about it. And they know this. This is why they have that so much hate in their heart, man. Because they know at the end of the day, no matter how hard they try, it's still nothing you can do about it. And this is why they want to go hard as much as possible, because they running out of time. They're going to get ready to come with that great wrath. They are allowing the truth to be spoken about of by these bug outs, but they're trying to mix in lies and other, you know, confusion in it as well, so that you don't get the full picture. They just want you to know a little bit. They cool with you knowing bits and pieces, but they don't want you to get the full picture. All right. Because they still want to come off as they're the chosen ones, man. Hey, ultimately, you're not the chosen ones. All right, the children of Jacob are, and you're not going to ever get that birthright, man. You never had it in the first place, and you're never going to have it. You already had your birthright, your blessing. You ruled and destroyed the earth. All right, and your rulership is coming to an end, man. All right, and like I said, these are the two main roles in this movie. And I'm gonna wrap it up on this in Second Ezra 6 and 9, because this it shows you this is the two main roles, man. All right, and I just gave you the background story of Jacob and Esau, how Esau got supplanted for his birthright through the spirit, and how he still has that perpetual hatred for us to this day, and it's the reason why, man. All right, going all the way back till then, that time. Like I just went into the word perpetual of old time past, hatred from things that happened in the past. And these people, these small assets in rulership, they know the history. They know what's up. They're not going to tell you that, the everyday average Joe on the street. But they know the true story of who they are and who we are, man. All right, so this is, I'm going to go straight to the point. Second Ezra's, I'm going to start from 6 and 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And that's going back to Jacob and Esau. The end of the first, Esau came out first, and the beginning of it that followeth, Jacob came out after. All right. So when's going to be the end of Esau's rulership and the beginning of ours? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first of hill of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So this is why these are the main two people in this movie, man. We're the main characters in the movie, all right? This is why we matter the most. Our people are always relevant because it's Jacob and Esau, man. And Esau is the end of the world. This is how you know he's in control right now. And I just read earlier, his blessing was the fatness of the earth and to live by the sword. And you see him doing just that, man. Yet his rulership is coming to an end. All right. Because it tells you Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right. So his world is getting ready to come to an end and ours is getting ready to begin. All right. That world in which righteousness is established. All right. And people can actually live a so-called good life. Because you can't live a good life here. Not with the wicked in rulership. That's why the people mourn him, man. Because he's living the way that he has people living isn't right. The society is set up, it isn't right. It's ruled in wickedness. All right, so with that, I'm going to wrap up and give our praises again to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone, and Shalom Tada Akim out there, preaching his word in truth and sincerity. Shalom.